of everyone's worldwide communications. Billionaires building businesses on platforms that didn't even exist a generation ago. But in the sea of noise, how can the voice of your business be heard? The secret is over 100 years old. Radio. 228% more effective than TV. That's 228% more effective than television. Brick and mortar and cyber businesses alike have found radio to be the most effective for building a brand and delivering customers. Learn the secrets of radio advertising by calling 877-996-4327 or email advertise@gcnlive.com. That's advertise@gcnlive.com.
If you want to continue to be one of those uninformed voters, uninformed people in this world, then change the channel because they're going to give you information you can work with.
They got human excrement running all around the place.
Your home smells of feces.
Yes.
People peeing in the streets.
Ooh, do you smell something?
Needles in the streets.
These are not tears. We are vomiting from our eyes.
And yet, what they're worried about? The words you use to call criminals. Because there's a certain stigma they don't want criminals to have to deal with.
Could we talk about something else?
I'm going to give you information that's going to make you have to make a decision, have to do something about what's going on in this country.
Something resembling anything.
If you want to get involved in the conversation, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Check out my classic podcast. There's so much going on the website, but do something. Get involved.
The Joe Messina Show.
The Joe Messina Show here on the GCN Network. Always a pleasure to have you with me, and I really do appreciate the time that you're spending with us on the air, in the chat room, texting and tweeting. There is a chat room. If you head over to the website, realside.com, you can watch it all there. Now, yeah, all right, we'll get to that later, but you can watch it all there, or as much of it as you can there, and you can listen. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I really appreciate the time that you're with us. After the break, I know you're waiting. Alfonzo Rachel's going to join us. I'm going to ask him some questions on something that happened to me earlier this week. Maybe I'm off. The great thing about having, and this is the funny thing about it. I love this. They do this with Sonia with me. Those of you trolls that are listening right now, and you send those nasty little the messages out. Here's where you miss it. When I call ZO my brother, right? It ain't a black thing. He's my brother in Christ. I should be able to call him my brother. And vice versa. And it's the same thing with Sonia Schmidt. Some of you got all crazy because I called her my sister. And I'm from Boston, so, sometimes when I get a little tired, it's sister. Not the sister that you think it is, brother, right? Because I get a little tired. But it's just funny how some of you're so sensitive. I get it. I get it. You brought up in a safe space. Got it. But I will tell you, save it. Don't write me because I ain't going to change it. You can write them. And if they're offended by it, they'll let you know. If they're not offended by it, they're going to let you know they're offended by you even asking the question, which I think is great. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-556. Y'all got me wound up already. Anyway, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Always a pleasure. Send me an email, joe@therealside.com, joe@therealside.com. And, it just doesn't really get much better than this. CNN this week is just going out of their minds. Some of these other, can't call them news sources, right? They're going out of their minds, too. Now, remember, you guys, I know you're on the same side as I am, but but just the craziness that the left is pushing, agreeing with, and or defending. Right? The New York Times, or as President Trump used to call them, the failing New York Times, which I think is a more appropriate name for them. they apparently they were defending pornography, defending pornographic literacy. Now, you'd say, oh, yeah, the high schools are already seen. No, they weren't talking about high schools, my friend. No, they were talking about first graders. There is no, the left, and again, some of them get mad at me. I'm not talking about rank and file, and you know that. But man, the soulless, godless left, they just don't stop. They want your kids. Do a check about we'll talk about that later too. And I'm going to leave you hanging on some of this stuff. Parents and media critics, they really went after the New York Times on Thursday after the newspaper heralded Justin Ang Font, a New York teacher who recently became infamous for her sexual education curriculum for children and young adults. She thought that sex education, sex-positive education, is good for those, as young as the first grade. She calls her lessons pornography literacy. For 7 years, she was the director of health and wellness at the Dalton School on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. In May, she was invited to teach 2 Zoom lessons on pornography literacy and consent to juniors and seniors at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School on the Upper West Side. The lessons reportedly included some young people pleasuring themselves. Now, they use a different word. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to be nice. But they were images. They were illustrations. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something. These parents were outraged, but these have been around for a while. And it was a book I think it's called It's Perfectly Normal. You can get it on Amazon. And it has naked drawings, characters, drawings, whatever, of little girls and big girls and large women and large men and little boys in different colors and men with men and women with women and women and men and little girls pleasuring themselves and little boys pleasuring themselves. And this is all from the academia. This is all from the educators who look at you and say, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're saying. You don't know about your kids. You need to shut up and leave them with us. And it's about time you guys have started screaming. I've been screaming about this stuff for years. And I'm just amazed that you parents are just starting to catch up, or some of you anyway. Now, the Times had a whole different idea on this thing. No, really. They really, think that Font was right. They went on to say that pornography literacy classes are supposed to teach students how to critically assess what they see on the screen. Wow. Talk about the spin. With a link to its report from Style Report, Valerie Safronova. But when a sex-positive educator taught her curriculum at 2 elite New York City schools recently, some parents were outraged. No, not some. Almost all of them. Look, even some of the most far-left parents that I know that have talked to me about sex ed at my school district, they don't want it. We will teach this at home if it's something we want to teach at all. Let's see if Zoe has a different take on this. We'll be back in a few minutes. Joe Messina, your host. Don't go far. A lot more coming up.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-808-5181. 800-808-5181. 800-808-5181. That's 800-808-5181.
The way things are going these days, do you ever ask yourself, when is the other shoe going to drop? The warning signs are everywhere. The next big danger is food shortages. That's why Americans are learning to be self-reliant and getting their emergency long-term food storage from My Patriot Supply. We're America's trusted leader in emergency preparedness. Over the past decade, My Patriot Supply has served millions of families and helped them prepare. Our delicious meal kits average 2,000 calories per day and stay fresh in storage up to 25 years. This is reliable food that will be there when disasters strike. And with the way things are going, you should grab some now. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com, order a starter kit for each member of your family, and we'll ship everything quickly and discreetly to your door. Don't wait and scramble with the masses when the news breaks. Instead, prepare today for what's coming. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. And the IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Blue Star medicated ointment works fast to relieve the pain and itch of almost any skin irritation.
It's amazing. It's like as soon as you put it on, you can feel it working. We've had Blue Star in the family for years. It works on everything.
I love the cooling sensation on my athlete's foot.
What a relief for my eczema.
Nothing worked on my dry, cracked skin until I tried Blue Star.
Blue Star is great for scalp itch.
Look for the white box with the Blue Star in the first aid section. Feel Blue Star work fast or your money back.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours. Any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-475-0092. 800-475-0092. 800-475-0092. That's 800-475-0092.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MacTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
You got a love bite on your neck. He's coming back this morning. What's the matter with you? Your life's going down the toilet. Cover up that damn thing. Come on, put some makeup on. All right.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me.
We are back.
Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the
855
head?
Real Joe, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged. Always be part of the always, not sometimes, always be part of the conversation. I do appreciate the time that you are spending with us. Let me just bring them on. Alfonzo Rachel joins me, who we lovingly refer to as ZO. And you have a couple of things going on yourself. Don't you have some kind of Bible study that you do from time to time?
That I do, man. I got that ZOpium Den, the House of the Anti-Fuddy Duddy Bible Study, the ZO Loft 20-pound sledge. I even got my fan going on right now, which I shouldn't, but I had to turn that off so I can hear proper.
Did you say band?
No, the fan. How tacky was that?
I don't want you to fall over, I mean, yeah, you guys got to check it out. You got to definitely check out the Bible study and some of the other things that he's got going on. So, I don't know if you caught. I know your lovely wife was on the chat room, probably throwing up in the first segment there when I was talking about the New York Times defending a program on pornographic or pornography literacy, and I'm thinking. See, you did the same thing I did. I read some of these terms sometimes. I said, "You really? Just where did people come up with this stuff?"
So pornographic literacy. It's like, okay, where did that show up? It's like, was it when they were told to read a script? It's like, oh, hold on, oh baby, I am
She's teaching this class to young kids, not just high school, junior high school, that kind of stuff. When you go through the whole article, she's teaching this to young kids. It teaches them how to, and I'm using a different word here because I don't know who's listening. It teaches them how to pleasure themselves. Okay, in-depth lessons on private parts, right, and how they're different and how they fit right and how to touch them just right so it feels good. I mean, I'm cleaning this up from what I'm reading here. And they're upset that the parents are upset. I mean, Jesus, my Lord, what are you waiting for?
I gotta spray some flipping Lysol. That's I feel like I'm gonna catch something, man, like that I'm gonna need a shot for after listening to these psychos. These people are freaking perverts, man. I can guarantee you, and I know this from experience. We'll figure it out. Okay, you don't have to conduct a class on things that will interest you and how you might spend some time with yourself. We're trying to keep it PG-13 here, folks. So at least PG for the kiddies that may be watching Uncle Joe and Zoe. Seriously, these teachers, it's almost like they've got a fetish for being these sanctimonious, self-righteous, we're looking out for the kids. It's like, no, you're looking for a way to engage in a conversation with them that's really taboo and it's none of your flipping business. Right. But these pedophiles want to do that. That's what it's all about, Joe. And there's some stuff that these public schools, man, the word talks about people having the talent to teach, and I understand that. But, man, before we get these kids in these schools, man, we need to fight to have the Lord in the school, man. We got to have the fight to have the Lord in the school, because if not, we're just sending these kids sheep to the slaughter.
Yeah, look at Lila Rose came out and said, how is this sex positive? Because that's how the New York Times spun it. It was these are sex positive classes, so the kids don't feel bad about who they are and what they are and what parts of pieces we have. And she came up with a great line. She says, that's like saying rat poison is a vitamin. Okay. Right? I thought that was great. And it is. But listen, look at all the things they're doing. You talk about sex education, asking the kids whether they feel like a girl or a boy. Bringing in these drag queens to teach the kids how to sing and twerk and tweet, twerk, whatever it is. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, all these things they're throwing at these kids, and you're saying to yourself, to what end? For what reason? How can you as an educator, I'd love an educator to call and explain it, but how can you as an educator tell me the kid can't read or write, doesn't know basic numbers, but yet, man, you should at least know how to twerk?
Yeah, it's, I guess, expressing yourself, man. Remember, the good old days, which, we complained about back then too, but, at least in the good old days, man, when we talk about expressing yourself, it was expressing in a math problem, what's the expression of now it's like, what's most important is how you express yourself sexually. Expression is is what's most important, how you're able to express yourself, not how you apply yourself. And even applying yourself, it has to be based in something. And people are talking about applying themselves and expressing themselves in the pursuit of their own truth and doing what makes you feel good and all that sort of stuff. And it's tough, Joe. And these people really feel like they're woke and enlightened. That's the big deception that we're up against, is that these people really think that they're doing a good thing.
Oh, no, they do. We are backwards and unenlightened. Think about that, because we believe in God. We believe that there's a creator. The creator has a plan, and he wants us to be a certain way and act a certain way and be healthy. And because we believe that, then there's something wrong with us. We are backwards. And we and matter of fact, I remember doing a story years back where they actually felt that forcing your kids to go to church on Sunday, was akin to child abuse, right? Yet the New York Times and others who recently actually wrote a piece about kids should be exposed to kink. They were talking about these gay pride parades and what have you, and they were very specific. I did the story I think last week, and you say to yourself, my God, where are we? Where are the, well, now you and I are speaking up, but where are the rest of the we's? Where are the rest of God's people going, no, we're not going to have that. You're wrong. My son doesn't have to see. My son should not have to go to a parade, because all kids think parades are wonderful, right? Go there and see some guy walking around with a penis hammock, and that's all he's got on, because he's proud of his body. Buddy, I've seen your body. Okay? Ain't nobody proud of your body. Ain't proud of my body. I know I can shed a few poundages here, but it's just amazing to watch what they're doing to your kids. It's really, really terrible. It's really disgusting, actually.
Oh,
but where are we?
For sure,
Why
man.
aren't we
And
screaming?
But where are we? Good question, man. We are cycling through this again, and there's no excuse for it, and there's no excuse to see the lunacy in it. There's no excuse to not see the planet, man. And we have these people doing these things, and the word talks about woe to those that don't know good from bad, bitter from sweet, light from dark. And these people are taking pride is poison as it is sin. But look at what they're even exhibiting as pride. What does a man submitting to another man's sexual desires have to pride?
Or wait a minute, we gotta go for a break, but they had other human beings on a leather leash, being whipped in the butt with a piece of leather.
Yeah.
How could you be proudful doing that? Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. I gotta calm down. We'll be right back.
You are cheap. No, I'm not. You are cheap. No, I'm not. You are cheap. No, I'm not. You are cheap. Well, maybe I am. If you're buying a diamond ring for your wife, it's not cool to be cheap. If you're buying airline tickets, it's very cool to be cheap and called Trip Amigo, where you can fly anywhere in the world and save up to 75% on over 500 airlines and 300,000 hotels. Plus, rental cars and vacation packages. Visit family, friends, or go on a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Go ahead. Be cheap. We have special fares we're not allowed to publish. When you book your airline reservations with Trip Amigo, you'll spend your travel money when you get there, not by getting there. Call Trip Amigo now and mention the travel code AMIGO and save even more. Call Trip Amigo now.
800-898-1427. 800-898-1427. 800-898-1427. That's 800-898-1427.
Yes, the pandemic is coming to an end. Restrictions are coming to an end. But body aches and pains never seem to end. That's why you need to click sunny-bay.com for the best sleep you can get. Sunny Bay's legendary products can help, like our lavender stress-reducing products, locally sourced and handmade in the USA. Or try Sunny Bay's award-winning pillows for traveling or extra neck support while sleeping. No need for pills or expensive chiropractic visits. Our neck support pillows are that good. Sunny Bay is a homegrown small business, but our products are designed and rigorously tested based on your demand and feedback. And they make great gifts for mom, dad, or anyone. Find Sunny Bay products on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, or at sunny-bay.com. And right now, get free heat patches and a belt with any purchase. So remember, Sunny Bay heating pads, neck pillows, and stress-relieving hot or cold wraps as restrictions come to an end and you get back to work. Do it the healthy way with Sunny Bay.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
Our military mission in Afghanistan will conclude on August 31st. The drawdown is proceeding in a secure and orderly way, prioritizing the safety of our troops as they depart.
President Biden delivering what the White House is calling a major policy speech on Afghanistan. The president continues.
Our military commanders advised me that once I made the decision to end the war, we needed to move swiftly to conduct the main elements of the drawdown. And in this context, speed is safety. And thanks to the way in which we have managed our withdrawal, no one U.S. forces or any forces have been lost.
Tropical storm Elsa is bringing heavy rain to parts of North Carolina and Virginia. The National Hurricane Center saying the storm has winds of 45 miles an hour as it impacts both states. USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. There's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart, a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally. It's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
And that's why yellow makes me sad, I think.
That's interesting. You know what makes me sad?
You do! Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land, where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you, you jackwagon!
One of my favorite terms. I love that term. Jackwagon. It's clean. I'm Joe Messina, your host. You're listening to the Joe Messina Show on the Genesis Communication Network. Always appreciate the time you're spending with us, with me, on the air, whether you're online, on the air, texting us, tweeting us, just being involved in the conversation. And get involved so you get informed, so you get educated, and then engage. If I'm not the guy for you, find somebody else. But get educated first before you start going back and forth with somebody, whether it's online, on the phone like I was the other day, or in any way, shape, manner, or form. And if I'm not around to listen to, I got somebody else you can listen to. Alfonzo Rachel is with us, as he is every week. We lovingly refer to him as Zo. He's the host of the ZOpium Den, Anti-Fuddy Duddy Bible Study. I love that name still, right? And the ZO Loft. So always a pleasure to have you. I love having you on with me, and I think we have a lot of fun together. So,
good times, man.
I need you to coach me. I need you to counsel me, my brother. Apparently, I have teed off the NAACP, and I think we were talking about during the break. I said they even choked when I said something about colored people, and it's like, hey, it's in your name, right?
Yeah.
It's your name, right? So I was in a parade with my granddaughters, and a lot of people already heard the story, but the bottom line with it was, surrounded by American flags. There's 80 or 90 cars. A couple of cars joined the parade, and I guess one of the cars had a collage of a Confederate, the battle flag, and that kind of thing. I had like a bunch of little flags, I guess all sewn into one. I don't know because I didn't see it, but in a picture, you could barely make it out. So they went nuts and said they can't believe that these elected officials, and I was one of them, would be part of such a racist, parade like this, divisive parade, tearing the whole city apart, And so I called him out on it. And I said, I basically said, an organization that's supposed to be doing so much good for the community is so divisive and misleading. And the reason you're misleading is you're making it sound like these elected officials said, hey, I ain't getting on this thing unless you got a Confederate flag back there, okay? You make it sound like we would not have our way to do this. Well, here's the deal. I sent you the text of what was sent to me by the NAACP person, right? Just went off on me big time. And what I thought was really interesting about it is that really wasn't the issue. When we got down to the flags that were offensive, the flags that bothered her the most. Now, 98% of the flags were American flags. But, we had a thin blue line flag. A couple of cars did. Can't have that. That's totally unacceptable. Because we know what the cops are all about, right? And then we had the Gadsden flag. Now, I don't know of anything about the Gadsden flag that is racist. Now, I do know originally it may have been our initial American flag, you know, our national flag. That was some talk about that at one point.
13 colonies, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was because, you know, it was at the beginning, and then what else was there? Oh, and then there was the Trump flags. The Trump flags were flags of violence. That's what she said. They promoted violence. And I said, I don't know of anybody of my people that saw the flag, went out and punched somebody in the face. You know, I mean, I see it always happen on the other side, right? We got lots of video of that. There's no Trump flag there when that happens. But then it came down to the very last thing. The very last item was the U.S. flag. It was, it was also not welcome there. So ultimately, she didn't want us celebrating Independence Day, didn't want us to be part of the parade, and the one little item was enough to spark them off. I mean, this is the NAACP. Have they lost their way?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They've been lost, man. And just like you said, you know, it's like you can't call them colored people. Meanwhile, the acronym for NAACP actually amounts to mean colored people. So they're going to have to change their whole name as it is if they don't want to be offended. But the funny thing is, Joe, is that Democrats, these liberals, they are the most offended by what they are and what they have. You guys are offended by being called colored people, but it's in your acronym. And you saw the Confederate battle flag at this event. Well, then you're offended by what's yours. The Confederate battle flag offends you. I get it. It offends me too. I can't stand the Confederate battle flag. Why? Because it belongs to Democrats. So what this woman was offended by was something that belongs to her, because obviously she's a Democrat. So it doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you're so offended by what Democrats do, why do you stand for their themes? It's like she's going to be offended by pro-slavery themes. Does she call the freaking gay pride parades and complain to them about other men being attached to leashes and stuff like that and showing their submission to other men while they get spanked and whipped and stuff like that, while white men are whipping black men or vice versa, or whichever? Slavery should be offensive no matter what. But these are things that I'm sure she's okay with. I'll bet she hasn't gone to complain for them for their overt slavery themes, but she wants to come after you. Psh, come on, man.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing as it goes down, and then she's tried to tell me how, you know, the BLM movement and I wouldn't. Here's the problem, that most of the time they're dealing with the average citizen that doesn't really understand or doesn't do research, isn't in it every day like you and I are, and so she started talking about the BLM stuff, and I said, have you read their manifesto? You want to talk about destructive and nasty and hateful? They want to blow apart the nuclear family. Yeah. And then what they want to replace it with is transgender black women. Now, I don't know how that is the natural fit to replacing the family. You'd have to explain that to me. Because what she kept talking about was hate. And I said, yeah, but what you consider hate, we don't. And vice versa. Right?
Yeah, we definitely there's some dyslexia going on there with them. And you know, to her credit, and I try, and this is what I'm talking about, because we don't need to be giving Democrats anything to be crazy, right? And that's why, I've been trying to warn conservatives about this, or patriots, American patriots, about this for years. And it's unfortunately it's a slow moving warning. I keep telling conservatives, get away from that flag. It doesn't belong to us. It has nothing to. If you're a Republican voter, most likely, if you're conservative and you're a patriot, most likely a Republican voter. If you're waving around the Confederate flag, or if you have any sort of sentiment for, or if you involve that image with you at all, you have done the Republic and the Republican Party a great disservice. That flag was raised in battle against the U.S. Constitution. It was raised in battle by Democrats who have murderous hatred against Republicans. If you are a Republican voter and you have the Confederate flag anywhere near your person, you are confused and you are as brainwashed as any black person is by the Democrat Party, any Jew, any woman, any Mexican, anybody. Yes, Republicans, they got you too. If the Democrats have you waving around their flag, knock it off. You're ruining things for us.
Well, I have to say, in all honesty and sincerity, you have taught me a lot in those lines. And I've told people, even other people I've spoken with over the last couple of months, because you've driven the point home. And you're right, it says just stop saying that systemic racism doesn't exist. And I got the same response that you got from me many times. They look at me and go, what are you talking about? What do you mean by that? I said, no, shut up and listen. And I explained it to them. And you're so right. They go, wow, you know what? You're right. No, I'm not right. Zo's right. But,
Yeah, it's just look at the history. I mean, if we know that Democrats are obsessed with racism today. That's what they're using. That's their big club to beat us over the head with. And it's like, y'all aren't making the relationship that they were just as obsessed about race in the 1800s too. Yeah. You see how rebellious they are against the Constitution today? Don't you know that they had that same rebellious sentiment against the Constitution back then too? They're the same people, and they're obsessed with race, and they're using the race CRT, this critical race theory and stuff. This ain't nothing new, Joe. This ain't new. No. This is who Democrats have always been.
No, and you know what? And it's again. I've been talking about it, never really put it together till you and I started digging into some of this stuff. And I was talking about how bad the black community and Hispanic community does in the inner cities. Their dropout rates was at 70% in some cities. These kids, when they do graduate, they still can't read. They still don't know the basics of math, science, history, and what have you. And I said, in the days of Jim Crow, it was illegal to teach black people, or to educate a black person, period, end of discussion. The underlying reasoning was they knew that if you educated people, they would find their way out of the situation they were in. They would be able to fight back and push back. What has been done for the last 30, 40, 50 years in this country? We started, pounding up, chipping away at inner city education where the majority of the black and Hispanic people live. For why? Because now they don't have a solid, education, and they've got to listen to Daddy, the daddy Democrat that says, come on, we'll save you, we'll help you, we'll feed you, we'll clothe you. That should scare the crud out of you. We'll be back in a minute. Joe Messina, your host. Don't go far.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Avian Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-880-1896. 800-880-1896. 800-880-1896. That's 800-880-1896.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Now, with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses, your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nanocolloidal silver from Americare, our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nanocolloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day. But supplies are limited. Purchase nanocolloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
You have the manners of a goat, and you smell like a dung heap.
Feel the rhythm now.
We are back. I'm your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. Listen to the Joe Messina Show. Look, I got a couple. I think you can see them on here, right? There you go. I got a couple of mugs in. Can't have any yet, though. I got the rest of them coming in. They should be here shortly. I think COVID-19 is slowing them down or something. At least that's what they'll tell me, right? And, yeah, I know, right, Zo? I mean, Alfonso Rachel joins me. He does it every week. It's like they always have a reason why they can't ship so fast. And it always has something to do with COVID. It's like, hey, it's over. Open the manufacturing plants. Let's get rolling. Really don't want to hear this garbage anymore, okay? You're making me nuts. So, anyhow. But today is a special day. I know he's going to kill me for this, but I don't really care. All right. What? Yeah, there you go. I mean, look at you don't look at they over 35. I mean, I'm really excited here. So today is Zo's birthday, and listen, if you really want to get him a birthday gift, and he deserves one, you go to bronzeserpentmedia.com. Right? Did I get that right? If you don't know how to spell bronze serpent, please do not fight for our freedom. Okay, let me just leave it at that. bronzeserpentmedia.com, and grab one of his songs. Grab a coffee mug. That's some great coffee mugs, right? Grab something and show him how much you appreciate what he's doing. But listen, I want everybody to stand up now. We're going to sing Happy Birthday. Go. This is like birthday class for my age, right? And he is coming to us from Russia. All right, ready? Everybody. That is a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So, Paul McCartney, just saying to you, personally, you'll have to write him a thank you letter.
Right on, man.
But make
Thanks,
sure it's not
Paul.
on a piece of paper that was made by a cow or something, because he's a vegan, I think.
Oh, boy.
All right.
And eat you a hamburger, Paul.
Ooh, yeah. No, send him some suede shoes, blue ones. See if you wear them. God, well, happy birthday, Zo. I hope you have many more. And, really, seriously. So, all right, let's stop with all the gooey stuff. Let's get back to work here. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this today, the teachers union, the National Teachers Union, I can't think of her name. She said that parents, they don't have a right to stop critical race theory. They're not educated enough. They don't get it. And that teachers should teach it whether the state outlaws it or not. And she's putting a fund together to protect those teachers who teach it anyway. Isn't it nice to know that the the government has control of our children?
Yeah. Come on, man, it's my birthday.
Oh, what do you want, happy stuff?
Yes, I do. I want my happy place. Okay, so
stop it.
So we have to have, along with, just to show how gay this stuff is. And I mean, not only do we have to have kids being taught how to touch themselves and be aware of themselves and all that sort of stuff, they have to also have this curriculum of critical race theory to go along with all that sort of stuff. It's funny how that stuff all ties in together. It's like this stuff with climate change and all this sort of stuff that they're putting in there that is just a fully false, unnatural, unscientific, insane narrative that they're just pushing on people. And with critical race theory, let's understand what it is that you're actually teaching America. Mm-hmm. All you're teaching and reinforcing is the idea, I'm not saying that this is true, but you're reinforcing the idea that Black people are the weakest people on the planet, that we are just a bunch of sissies who are overly sensitive and paranoid and cannot actually overcome the struggle, and that we're the only people in the history of mankind who have ever experienced slavery. And unless the white man, who must obviously be superior because they're the only ones with the power to be racist, unless the white man forfeits his superiority, the Black man is never going to have a chance. Do these people not see how insulting and condescending and backwards and counterproductive it is to the actual progression and actual perception of respect to the Black race, if that's what they're looking for, that this is?
Oh, you know the answer to that question. They have no clue. Not, you and I have talked about this many times, beat it to death. You don't know how to use the internet. You can't start businesses because you don't know how to find yourself attorneys and CPAs. You can't find a DMV or a city hall to get yourself an ID. I mean, you people are in a poor way. I mean, thank God you have the Democrats to be able to keep you safe and fed and housed and clothed and all that stuff, right?
Indeed, man. But see, now, one has to wonder, I mean, do they know? I mean, it's like, on the one hand, I mean, the drones out there, the drones, the Democrat drones, they don't have a clue. They're pawns. But you do have an elite class who is just like LBJ, whatever, LBJ, says, I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. This stuff is engineered. It's like Margaret Sanger, even earlier than him. We don't want the Negro to know that we're out to exterminate them, and we're going to use the colored ministers to keep them in line. This stuff was prophesied by them way back, man, and they've got these influential people out there keeping the Black herd in line. This stuff is engineered, man. It's evil genius. Now, don't get me wrong, because there's a lot of ignorance out there. That's what they're counting on, but it's orchestrated.
But did we talk about this last week? One of the things that came to me as I was talking about Planned Parenthood and some other stuff during the show one night was, I want you to think about something. In New York City, in a couple of the Planned Parenthood centers, they removed Margaret Sanger busts. They removed, sayings of hers on the wall. They removed her pictures. And they said, well, this is not the institution that we're not lined up with her main way of thinking anymore. We're just here to help women. What I thought was really interesting about that, did they do that in every Planned Parenthood office across the country? No, they only did it in New York because they're very close to black communities, and they were getting a lot of heat locally from not just the churches, but, from GOP and more conservative groups saying, hey, you're going into a place that hates you. The whole idea, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. Yes. So, but I thought that was, they don't even see how hilariously dumb that is, do they?
Nah, man, and it's not just out of PR or a public relations move that they had to remove, man. The reason why is because they don't want them to follow the trail that with Margaret Sanger that leads them to the Democrat Party, because she was a Democrat. That's why they, like I said, these cats are drones. Like when they have these drones out there tearing down the statues and the Confederate monuments and stuff like that. Now, I was never one that says tear those things down. No, I say leave them up. Keep those things up there, not because it's American history or anything like that, but because those things are a record of who the Democrats are. That's what it's all about. Let these people know who the Democrats have always been.
Well, Nancy Pelosi just, I don't know if she gave an edict or how it works, but she has just give the order to remove every one of the Confederate-based statues that are there in the rotunda. So any statue, any plaque or anything that commemorates any part of that war has got to go. And I think just what you were saying now, I'm going, wow, talk about erasing history to the point where you don't even have to deal with it anymore, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about, man. And see, what conservatives and this has been going on for a long time. The battle over the monuments. When I've been saying it to conservatives for years, they're going about this wrong. You don't get out there and say we need to keep them up because it's about American history and stuff like that. It's like, no, this is a record. You want this as proof. This is who the Democrats have always been. And right now, for conservatives, they should fight this. Fight it. Do not let Nancy Pelosi have these statues taken down, but take the fight to them the right way and say, you don't want these taken down because this is the history of your party. And you're not gonna make us the patsies.
I agree with you so much with that. I mean, again, you and I have been talking for a while, and I had some fun actually the other day with somebody about a Juneteenth parade. And you know what I've said about it. I said it to them, and they were looking at me like, because I said, "Hey, I'm all for this," and they were like, "Well, what?" I laid out why, and I said, "Bring their history to them. Lay it out in a 5-mile parade. Lay out the history. Have all kinds of floats there. Have a cross, perpetually burning on the float while you have a guy in a KKK uniforms with a big D on their chest, like Superman. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Exactly.
And let them see truly what it is. I just, we don't do it because, we wanted to play by the gentlemanly rules. By the way, I just got this. Somebody sent me that the Black Lives Matter chapter of Utah also has called the American flag a hate symbol, and anybody who has one in their house is not safe to be around.
Wow, man.
I'm going to deal with that in the next hour.
Oh, this is the safest place, in the world to be, pretty much. Maybe I know there's a place like Israel, that's a pretty safe place. Despite all the stuff that's going on there, it's still a pretty safe place. But folks need to understand that's not what America was founded for. It's not America's fault. It's not the flag's fault. It's not the Constitution's fault that people abused their liberty. Yeah. That people took perversion and they went perverse with it and did something else than what the flag stands for.
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct. All right, Zoe, we're the people. Hey, people, buy a happy birthday mug. Buy a happy birthday piece of music. Tell them where to get it, quick.
That's right. Treat yourself for my birthday. Go to bronzeserpentmedia.com, the ZO Loft, the ZOpium Den, 20-pound sledge, audiobook, A Solid Right Cross. Hope to see you guys there.
You're done. Joe Messina, your host. Don't go far. A lot more coming up.
This is the Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.